Ciao ragazzi, this is Katie Portanova, and you're listening to Florence and Me. I'm a lover of stories and all things Italian, and I'm going to bring you all that in this podcast. My intention is to inspire you to step out of your comfort zone and explore life and travel the world. Join me as I tell you my story and many others about Italy and my love, Florence. Andiamo! Ciao a tutti! It's time for another episode. And this is going to be a short one. And sometimes I say that and then it becomes very long. But this was actually going to be short. I just want to thank everybody out in the world that wished me a happy birthday last Friday. I've been meaning to do an episode since then to talk about the coolness that it is to turn 41 and to feel alive and well and grateful that I have lived this long. So thank you. And if you didn't know it was my birthday, it's okay, because you just met me. I've gotten a lot more followers to my pages, and also I've noticed a lot more people subscribing to my email list. So I wanted to just I wanted to tell you a little bit about myself. If you haven't started from the beginning, maybe you just started, you're like, oh, here's one, I'll listen to this one. My name is Katie Portanova, or Kate, or Caterina, or whatever you'd like to call me. I have been traveling to Italy for over 20 years now, since I was a student at St. Mary's University in Winona, Minnesota. And I am in love with Italy. And in every aspect of it, in the people, and the food, and the wine, in the story, in the history, in everything. So if you have found my podcast just because you search Italy or Florence, maybe you're obsessed with Florence, you're in the right place, because I am obsessed with Florence. If I could talk about it and get paid for it, and talk about it all day long, and talk about how much I love it and how much it has shaped me into the woman that I am today. And those of you that maybe are looking to travel to Italy, and I know during these times, it's kind of scary and it's kind of weird and you're uncertain. Just do it. Just do it. Maybe you're thinking about traveling, studying abroad. I'm a firm advocate and fan and cheerleader of anybody that decides to live abroad for a semester, for a year. It will change your life. Literally. Even though that's the wrong way of using literally, but it's okay. It will for sure change your life. So travel abroad. If you are, maybe you've never traveled and you're in your later years, and you want to travel to Italy, you want to travel to Florence, do it. And you're in the right spot, because I plan on putting out more podcast episodes about places to visit in Italy, the history a little bit, but not too much, because me and dates and numbers, not a numbers lady. Okay. So you'll be hearing more about stories from me, stories about people that maybe lived in the city, or folklore, or myths. I don't know, a little mystical things sometimes, because I like stories. I like a lot of stories. So, yes. So I am an Italy travel specialist, I like to call myself. I love helping people find the right place to stay in Italy, mostly Tuscany I focus on. If you need assistance other places, I do have friends that help with other places in Italy, other regions. I'm just like drawing a blank because I'm just thinking about Florence right now. And because I miss it and I can't wait to go back. I also create retreats for the travel lovers and the adventurers. And I have right now 2 types of retreats, and that might change. But going into 2023, I am going to make 2 different types of retreats, one for women and one for couples, and move from there. Because there might even be more for women and a couple more for couples. I'm not sure, but right now this year I'm going to do my one last pitch for June 2022. Because of fucking Putin, excuse my language, I have lost the people that have signed up for June. So totally understandable. But if you are looking for a really cheap trip to stay with me for a week in a beautiful hamlet in Camporsevoli, just about an hour and a half south of Florence, on top of a hill in a medieval town. I'm going for double room. It's $9.50 each. That's dollars. Okay, that's not unheard of. That's not my normal price. And for a single room, $13.50. Okay. You can check this all out on my website. I've got 2 apartments. I've already paid for them. I'm not getting my money back. And I just like to have some people there. Okay. So if you're interested and you're like one of those last minute travelers and you get amazing tickets at last minute traveling, you are my person. You are my gal. You are my guy. I am a free for all. Whoever is able to come, please contact me. You can email me at trulyitalytours@gmail.com, or you can just go to my website, trulyitaly.tours, and fill out a contact form if you're interested. So yeah, there's that. And then I also have my September retreat, which I have tentatively 5 people interested, but nobody has confirmed. So that is going to be September 24th through October 1st, which is going to be a fabulous time of year because it's not too hot. It's like perfect weather, probably like 75, 80, like just gorgeous, not a lot of humidity. We're going to be in a private villa or right next door to my in-laws. And yeah, look on my website for that too, trulyitaly.tours. I've got wine tastings up the wazoo that we'll be doing. So that's the other opportunity. And then the last thing I have on my list of events is I'm doing a wine tasting virtually with my friends at Monteferralle Vineyard in Chianti. And this is the last week to sign up because you're getting wine shipped to you from across the big blue ocean. So it takes 6 weeks to ship. So March 26th is the last day to sign up. It's $159 for 3 bottles of wine. You'll get 3 recipes the week before the Zoom call for you to pair with each wine. There's going to be a Chianti Classico, a Chianti Riserva, and a Vinsanto. So yeah, that's another opportunity. And it's $159 per device. So it's not per person. Okay. And that's include shipping. There's no other extra shipping costs. I've gotten some questions about that. So that's for 3 bottles. So yeah, sign up at, I'm going to put the link in the notes, because it's a long link. I don't have it on my website. It's a landing page. So yeah. So I do events. I'm trying to get people excited for travel again. And yeah, and I am married to an Italian. His name is Stefano, not Stefano. A lot of people say that. I get really annoyed. And that's Steve. Okay. Stefano's first job, pardon my French again, the assholes didn't want to learn how to say his name. So they decided to call him Steve. Yeah. So Stefano and I have been married, 8 years. We've been together for 10. And yeah, I found the only Italian that wanted to move to the States. It's rare. He was born in Florence. He is my most amazing person. My person, I love him to death, and he supports me fully and truly. And I wish you all to find somebody like him or like her. or like whoever you are interested in, because it's great to have somebody that supports you in all that you do. Yeah, so Stefano comes with me on these retreats. He is our driver at this stage. Once we get, if we get a little bit bigger, he'll probably not come. But he likes to drive and he likes meeting new people. So, and he'll be cooking for you a lot. He's a really good cook. I'm going to cook as well on these retreats. So yeah, that's my love, mi amore. And what else was I going to say for this? Yeah, so I'm starting to kind of evolve my business here. So you might start seeing something different on my website and even on my Facebook page, which is where I kind of post the most, is on my Facebook page. So if you look up Truly Italy Tours, you could find me there. So yeah, I'm starting to create these guides because I've noticed a lot of people contacting me that are first timers. They've never been to Florence or Italy, and I'm going to start making these guides. And if you haven't already joined my email list, if you go to my page, my website, there's a pop-up that comes up and you can get a free Florence travel guide, that some tips and trades that I've learned along the way about when you travel in Italy. So you get a free guide and you get to be in the know of all the really fun things that Truly Italy has to offer in the upcoming year. So yeah, I'm going to be putting those travel guides on my website. They will cost a small amount for you to purchase, and for a lot of the newcomers, the first time travelers to Italy, these are great guides for you. Yeah. So yeah, and the last thing I'll talk about is I've come across a lot of well, the one thing I noticed after I turned 41, which is not, big deal, who cares? But a lot of people, it's just funny, like I work, my full-time job is I work at a country club. So I have a lot of retired people that are in my classes. I'm a personal trainer, yoga instructor, and the fitness director at this country club. I should say this all at the beginning before I start talking, but this is how I talk. So I hope you enjoy that. Yes. So I notice a lot of women kind of cringe at talking about age. And I honestly was actually really proud to say that I am 41. And I am grateful and happy and content with being alive in this time. As the challenges that do come up in this life, as we've been through the last 2 years, but even what's going on in Ukraine now, there's something to be said about the word and the feeling of suffering. Now, not saying that being 41, I need to suffer, but there's a lot of talk around kind of hiding behind your age. And there's a $1 billion industry of trying to make us look younger and skinnier and everything, like make us look like we're teenagers, women especially. But I remember saying this when I was probably in my early 20s to myself, and I was like really kind of looking forward to getting old, but in the sense of getting old because you become wiser. Because of the wise women that have gone before me, and my grandparents and my great grandparents, like there's so much wisdom as we age, and there's so much to be excited about when we age. Yeah, there's things that happen to our bodies, and there's things that happen to our diet, and all the other things for women. Again, not men. If you're listening, you're a man. Sorry, but I just want to point out that there's a way to be happy with where you are. And it's within you. It's not with things or facials or fast diets or, skinny jeans. There's a quote that I now am like gonna plaster it all over my room here, is do what you can with what you got where you are. Do what you can with what you got where you are. And that spoke to me a lot because we are in a society that we go, 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 right? And when we go, 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 we don't necessarily sit down and appreciate the moments that are passing when we are go, go, going, right? So, and this is the point of my business is Truly Italy is about presence and is about being present in the moment. It's about being present when we visit places and being present when we're tasting the pasta, being present when we're talking to a new person on our retreat. Like maybe you travel alone. I mean, the people that travel alone are the ones that I know for sure are living in the present because they want to be encompassed by the present moment. So as much as I'd like to see things go faster on this journey, I don't want time to go by faster, right? Because if time goes by faster, then I'm never going to really experience the time that I started this business, or that I started meeting new people and creating new things and like seeing the progress, right? So do what you can with what you got, where you are. And this is not my quote. Okay, I heard it on a podcast and then I looked it up who actually said it because they didn't say who actually said it. It was Theodore Roosevelt. And if any of you guys follow Brene Brown, which, I mean, if you're a woman, you probably do. Maybe not all women, but she quotes The Man in the Arena by Theodore Roosevelt. Okay, so that was like kind of synchronicity, kind of like just synced together. And I'm like, oh, this is interesting. And then the other quote that came up this past weekend when I was like trying to put together like, okay, I'm 41. I kind of like to put down my thoughts on my birthday and see what comes up. And this quote always comes up. What's meant for me won't miss me. What's meant for me won't miss me. And that's by Patrice Gordon. And I've said this to a lot of my friends in these past few years, the past year, because I just heard this quote maybe a year ago. What's meant for me won't miss me. So not to rush. Now, I know some of you may be, if you're listening to this, maybe you're like itching to go travel somewhere. If it's not Italy, it's somewhere. And you're like, I'm going to get out of my house. I want to stop traveling around the States. I want to go out of the country. I want to see the world. You will see the world. What's meant for you won't miss you. Whatever that might be. I was in a group a few months ago with a friend of mine, actually Caitlin Bosshart, who was on my podcast a few months ago, where we talked about passion projects and like she told me her stories about traveling to Italy with her husband and she did this passionate group. I forget the name of it. It was called The Hive. And there was a girl in this group, and she was really itching to like start this nonprofit and move to Costa Rica. And she was just like all hell bent, like trying to get all these things, like all the ducks in the row. And I said this quote to her, and she literally, I saw her shoulders on the Zoom, like just relax. And she's like, oh. Because then I said to her, I'm like, because I know my house in Tuscany is there. It's being taken care of. Somebody's taking care of it. And it's not going to miss me. It's already there. So I'm not worried about it. And the same thing with my business. Like, I know it's going to develop into something amazing. I know. I already know. And for this woman, I was like telling her, I'm like, you are going to create this nonprofit. It's already being created. And she started crying when I said this, and I said, and your house and the retreat center that you want to create in Costa Rica, it's already being built. You're building it. It's a really great visual for you if you're on a journey and doing entrepreneurship or maybe just on a journey just to get out of the country and travel. Like, Italy's not going anywhere. Stefano would always say that to me when I was like itching to go to Italy. He's like, it's not going anywhere. And my in-laws would always say that too. He's like, we're still here. Italy hasn't moved. We haven't moved. It's still here. Like, you can still come visit. So even if maybe this year is not for you, maybe you don't want to travel because you're afraid of traveling and because of the war in Russia, which is totally understandable, or because of COVID, maybe you have some underlying conditions and you're afraid. Guys, it's okay. What's meant for you won't miss you. You'll reach it. You'll find it. You'll create it. Believe it. And just because I said this was going to be a short podcast episode and now I'm at 20 minutes. Okay. I talk a lot. What I wanted to point out again, because it's still going on, sadly, is my friend Chelsea, who has been on the podcast. She is still selling the sunflower stickers on her website, sketchynotions.com. I will put that link in the notes as well. Proceeds of it goes to assist and help the Ukrainian people. She donates it to, I believe she donates it to Direct Relief, but I could be wrong. But she does help. Her actual fiance is a friend. His friend is Ukrainian, so she's also sending money to him and helping out his family and the people there, and whoever's getting that money is of being service. It's of service. Okay. So if you're interested in helping out with that, that would be helpful. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. I appreciate all of you out there that are still listening to my podcast. New and amazing things are on the horizon. I will be dropping another one hopefully next week. I kind of wanted to dive into San Gimignano. I think I talked about that before. And talk about that city for a little bit. And there's some other cities I'd like to bring up that maybe you don't know about. And yeah, I hope you have an amazing day. Buona giornata, buona serata, buonanotte, wherever you are in the world. Grazie. Grazie di nuovo. A presto. Ciao. Ciao, amici. Ciao, ciao. I am beyond grateful for you listening to my podcast right now. I am so excited to share my journey of living abroad and all my stories of Florence and Italy and all the places in between that I've visited. If this has reached you in any way and you would like to continue, please subscribe now. Also, go check out my website, trulyitaly.tours, for all my travel experiences. Ci si vede. Ciao.